pubs expected to be spared a tax rise after a big backlash pressurised the government to reconsider its stance. Lots of Labour MPs being banned from their local pubs, for example. But hotels and restaurants could still face business rate changes.
Let's talk now to the Michelin-starred chef and pub owner and TV personality, Tom Kerridge. A very good morning to you, Tom. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks very much for having us on. Morning, guys.
So I guess you're pleased to see this U-turn?
Yeah, no, listen, absolutely. I think what happened in the previous budget is hospitality across board was looking for some form of support coming in from the government. It's an industry and business that's hugely under pressure right now. So we were looking for some form of help coming from Westminster. Unfortunately, the business rates turn actually made it a little worse. In fact, quite a lot worse. For my business rates, for example, at my pubs, just for example, went up 115% across board. So it could make huge catastrophic differences to those pubs and smaller pubs and people who live above them, landlords that work 70, 80 hour week. That kind of business rate increase was going to be massive and catastrophic for the industry. The fact that the government have listened, have been proactive and done something about it. We still don't know the ins and outs of it yet, but it does sound like when the words are a U-turn, it sounds like it could be something much more promising. It's going to make it's actually not help. It's what they're saying is that we're just not going to make it any worse than it was pre-budget. So yes, that's great that there is a U-turn. However, the industry, as a broader picture, needs a lot more help coming from government.
Do you think, frankly, Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer really understand, I guess, the pressure that the hospitality business is under?
To be honest, no, I don't. I think, listen, I've been in a very fortunate position that, you asked me on Sky News. I have a voice. I try to use it for the industry as best as possible. And, there's media outlets ask us for opinions and try to reflect that industry. And this government and previous government, I've been able to have a conversation with frontbench ministers, with Secretary of States, whether it's from business and trade or whether it's from Treasury, and being able to have those conversations. And sometimes I feel that they go through a tick box motion of going, yes, we've spoken to somebody from industry, that's it, and they just get on with it. And this government, I think, has been the same. However, I had a meeting. Actually, I was at a Christmas drink thing just before the 25th of December, where Peter Kyle, Business and Trade Secretary, was there, and I kind of jumped on him and said, "Listen, the interest rate, the business rate situation is a very, very difficult one. We need to have a conversation," at which point he said, yes, of course. And I thought it was going to be another one of those things where we were fobbed off. However, on the 5th of January, I was in his office first thing in the morning, invited in, had a conversation. He put my business rates in front of me and said, look, this is where we found, this is what we know. And I was, it fully explained to them that it's unsustainable and it doesn't work. And this is my business, and that's the same for every pub up and down the country. So it was a proactive approach. I think there are people in the cabinet that are trying to understand it and are trying to get a better grip on what hospitality and the pressures that it's under. The fact that there's a U-turn now perhaps means that there's a slight open door to be able to push and go, listen, we need a deeper, much stronger conversation. We need a ministry for hospitality. We need a minister for hospitality. We need a representation on that front bench. It employs over 3 million people, and that's a huge amount of a workforce, and has a huge effect. And hospitality runs deeper than just people that work in it. It's the uplift for the country. It is the thing that makes people feel great. It is, it's not just pubs and restaurants. It's coffee shops. It's the popcorn seller at cinemas. It's the thing that makes people feel good. Hospitality is the thing. It's the uplift of the country that we need to be supported.
You don't have to convince us about the importance of pubs. We're big fans. The next question I had was about a different area of policy, which is if you pair together the Employment Rights Bill, which Peter Carr was on this morning talking about some of his reasons, positive reasons why it's happening, and as well over a number of years boosts to the national minimum and national living wage. I think everyone can see the aim there is to try and improve the situation for workers, particularly those at the lower end of the wage spectrum, often in hospitality jobs. Is there a risk that it hurts those very people that it's trying to help in time because you guys have to limit the number of people you're employing?
Yeah, and no, that is an absolute risk to it. I mean, listen, I am a supporter of workforce. I believe that industry, no matter what it is built on the people that help put it together. Whether it's hospitality, whether it's the care system, whether it's construction, whether it's it is all about the workforce, and trying to improve people's life is exactly what this government should be doing. But you are right. There is an issue when minimum wage comes in so high, when particularly in hospitality, and then you have food inflation, then you have national insurance increases, then you have utility bills. So all of these added massive costs that come into a business on an industry that has very, very fine margins. We all know that 1 in 3 restaurants don't make it through the first year. All those statistics show that it's an incredibly difficult industry to make it in. And when all those costs come in, trying to improve the lifestyles of the workforce is exactly what everybody wants to do. However, if you haven't got an understanding of a front-end tax relief that goes into those businesses, it gives them very little opportunity for that to grow. And you're right, employers will not, it kind of becomes a stagnant market, because as people leave, you don't re-employ.
I've just got one other question to squeeze in. We talked before about businesses going bust, about the pressure on the hospitality industry. One person going the other way, coming back into the market, is Jamie Oliver. Obviously, you were saying there about how things have changed a lot, the depressions, etc. You got any tips for him as he sort of re-enters the high street?
Yeah, I wish Jamie the best of luck. I mean, I know Jamie, and he's a fantastic. He's a great cook. He's a fantastic person. He's a wonderful. I suppose advocate for great cooking, and he's already understands and sees the problems that restaurant situation has been in before, and hopefully a lot of those lessons have been learned and being able to move forward. And I wish him all the best.
Great
Tom,
stuff, love it.
Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Next time you'll come in and cook us breakfast as well?
Yeah, that's a deal. That's a deal.
You didn't have to agree to that, but you did.
I love
Fantastic.
it. I love it. What's it going to be, Tom? What are you going to go for? Is it scrambled eggs, or are you like a hash brown boy? What's the
heavier than that? Let's pack in some pork.
Guys, I see you as much more healthy. I see you kind of like overnight oats and chia seed yogurt.
Oh, no.
No. Cancel the invitation then. Cancel the invitation. Tom, thanks so much.
No problem. Thanks, guys.